Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. When it comes to leaving a job, whether that is transitioning completely to a new career, changing companies, or maybe transitioning entirely out of the workforce, you often have a choice to make, and that is what to do with your 401k. And looking at these retirement accounts, 1/3 of all people have 3 or more 401k accounts. In fact, some people even have 5 or more separate accounts. And I think so many people end up with so many 401k accounts simply because they forget that they have a choice. But hopefully, learning about some of your different choices can help you make better moves with your money, or at least more intentional moves. The first option is to simply leave your investments with your former employer in their 401k. This is actually a really popular option among retirees, or for people who are leaving a job they've been with for the long term. And depending on your circumstances, this could be a really great option. If we consider it from the perspective of a retiree, maybe they just establish a plan to set up periodic withdrawals to fund their retirement. First and foremost, from the standpoint of convenience, this is a plan you're already familiar with, and if you're satisfied with it and you like how the plan is administered, maybe you have plenty of low-cost investment options available to you, maybe you like the investment selection that is available, not having to roll that account over into another account can be incredibly convenient. And truly, 401k plans have come a long way in the past decade or so. It wasn't that long ago that 401k plans had really high admin fees and really limited investment options. So you were kind of pigeonholed into whatever the plan offered. But these days, most 401k plans have a pretty broad range of investment options that you can choose, often offering my personal favorite, index funds. Through wonderful companies like Vanguard and Fidelity and T. Rowe Price, all offering funds at rock-bottom expense ratios. Outside of convenience, the 401k can actually offer a bit more protection from creditors than, say, an IRA. Under the Employee Retirement Income Security Act, 401ks can receive a bit more favorable treatment than an IRA in situations like a bankruptcy. It is worth noting that your level of protection does depend on the state you reside in and the specific laws of that state. On the flip side, if you decide to leave your 401k with a former employer, it could potentially limit your investment options, like say your plan doesn't have a great selection of investment options. It could also leave you paying higher fees than, say, if you rolled the money over into an IRA. If your investments are in a 401k plan, not only are you facing the individual expense fee of the funds, but you may also face administrative fees, plan management fees, plan provider fees, and company participant education fees. All 401k plans have admin fees, and how large or small they are really depends on the company. All of these fees could easily add up to be over 1%, or they may be entirely negligible. It depends on your company. You also have the risk of potential future changes, because it is the company that can make changes to their 401k plan and its offerings. So you might always have this sense that you're at the whim of your former employer and decisions they make with their 401k if you decide to leave your money there. And there's also a consideration that it might limit the potential options you face when it comes to getting financial guidance. Often, once people reach retirement, they seek out the guidance of a financial pro. And if you're limited to this pre-selected investment selection, that might limit what kind of options the professional can suggest to you. Roll your 401k over to an IRA. This too is a really popular option and can be a really great option. Rolling your 401k over into an IRA gives you a bit more control. It puts you more in the driver's seat. You're no longer limited to the investment options of the plan. Instead, you can actually choose the brokerage house that you invest with and from a broader mix of investments. This could give you broader options like individual stocks, REITs, bonds, broader fund access. It just really opens the door on potential investments. This really gives you the freedom to select and build your portfolio in a way that's specific to you. This move can also reduce the fees you're paying because you no longer have to pay the admin fee for the 401k fund, but keep in mind you will still have to pay the expense ratios on the individual funds you're invested in. Rolling a 401k over into an IRA can also allow you to consolidate accounts. Because let's face it, right now we live in a time where very few people actually stick it out in one career with one employer. odds are you're going to have several employers throughout your life, which might leave you with several 401ks, and rolling them all together into a single IRA can help to reduce the financial complexity in your life. This can also help you build a more balanced portfolio and reduce redundancies. While moving over to an IRA can be a great move, there are some potential cons to this move. Remember, no choice is the perfect panacea. If you move over to an IRA, you can limit your protection under the Employee Retirement Income Security Act, as previously mentioned. If you're considering an early retirement, the Rule of 55 can allow you to withdraw from your 401k penalty-free, as long as you meet certain criteria as early as the age of 55. IRAs do not follow the Rule of 55, and you would have to wait until 59 and a half to access the funds in a traditional IRA penalty-free. On the flip side, let's say you're doing a delayed retirement. If you're at the age of 72 and still employed, you can, in certain situations, again, specific criteria have to be met. In certain situations, you can actually delay required minimum distributions from your current 401k plan with a current employer. You cannot delay RMDs with an IRA. You also limit your ability to take a loan from your account. Now, I am not advocating for taking a loan from a retirement account. However, if a true emergency arises, you do have the ability to take a loan from a 401k. Generally, the advice is to not take a loan from this account. Just leave the money invested, let it grow as you see fit until you reach retirement. Leave these funds untouched. That's kind of the best philosophy. However, these plans do allow for loans. You cannot take a loan from an IRA. Convert to a Roth IRA. If you have a traditional 401k, you do have the option of converting to a Roth IRA. The big thing to note here is if you make this conversion that you do have to pay taxes on the converted amount, because traditional accounts are funded with pre-tax dollars, whereas Roth accounts are funded with post-tax dollars. Now, depending on the account size, this could be a very sizable tax bill. For example, let's say you have $150,000 in a traditional 401k. If you're married, filing jointly using projected 2024 tax brackets, without considering any other taxable income, this conversion could result in a $23,000 tax bill, meaning once you pay that tax bill, roughly $127,000 would actually end up in the Roth IRA. Now, of course, you don't have to do this conversion all at once. You can spread this conversion out over time and thus spread that tax bill out over time. But making a conversion from a traditional account to a Roth account can come with greater flexibility. First and foremost, considering the money in a Roth account is yours to keep. You don't have to consider tax implications when you make a withdrawal. Also, there are no RMDs or required minimum distributions on Roth accounts. There are on traditional accounts. So you can withdraw as much or as little whenever you so choose. Also, Roth accounts are very attractive when it comes to generational wealth planning and considering passing accounts onto your heirs because they have this tax-free nature. Cashing out one's 401k. While not an incredibly popular strategy when people leave the workforce and enter into retirement, it is very common but not necessarily recommended when people are switching jobs. According to the Harvard Business Review, roughly 42% of workers cash out their 401k when they leave a job, and of those who cashed it out, 85% simply spent it. And if you haven't yet reached full retirement age, cashing out your 401k might not only come with just tax consequences if it's a traditional account, but also comes with a 10% penalty. I think a far superior option than cashing out your 401k is simply to leave it with your former employer, especially if you liked the investment options available to you. However, I do think the superior of all choices is to roll it over into an IRA, simply because that puts the ball back in your court. It gives you greater control of your money. I think everything gets a little bit too cumbersome if you end up in your golden years with 5 different 401ks. I like the idea of simplicity and consolidating all of these into one account. And I truly think it can be hard to create a well-balanced portfolio when you have so many different accounts. Another option that retirees often consider is purchasing an annuity from a 401k. Now, the reason a retiree might be drawn to an annuity is that you get this guaranteed, steady, set income stream for life. But with that being said, annuities come with a lot of limitations and fees. I know annuities can be a hot button issue, and I don't want to stigmatize an entire financial product, but I just say approach annuities with caution. For someone who is very risk averse, this could bring great peace of mind, having a guaranteed set stream of income, and it can be a very attractive option. I just say if this is an option that you want to consider, make sure you research it well and know what you're getting into. Some 401k plans have an annuity option, but not all. Also note that there can be tax implications when moving funds from a 401k to an annuity. And simply because annuities are rather complex financial vehicles, I think it's a really good idea to consult with an independent financial planner on the specific annuity that you want to buy, as well as a tax professional like your personal accountant to make sure it's a good fit for you. And I specifically say an independent financial planner, not the financial planner trying to sell the annuity to you, because they have skin in the game. They're going to make a commission on the sale. And before signing for any annuity, carefully review the terms and features of the annuity contract, including payout options, fees, surrender charges, and any guarantees or riders included in the contract. This is a very simple way of saying, make sure you're crystal clear on what you're signing for. Again, I am not bashing annuities, I just think you need to approach them with caution and good understanding. The good thing to know is that when you leave a job, you have options with your 401k. Which option is best really depends on your personal circumstance and your financial goals. Have you done any of these options when it came to your 401k, or do you plan on doing them in the future? Leave your thoughts in a comment down below. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye.